Hello, Wade Price again. I make these videos about every 2 weeks about Nashville, Tennessee living. Today I'm not going to give you any list or stats. It's going to be a little bit different. I'm just going to share some good and bad I've experienced after living in Nashville for 4 years. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Please leave comments and please hit the like and subscribe button if you'd like to receive more great content about living in Nashville, Tennessee. Now on to the good and bad after 4 years in Nashville. First, a little bit of background. As I said, I've lived here for 4 years. People always ask me what brought you to Nashville. Usually someone my age has been somewhere else for a long time. They don't move to a new city. But just a little bit of background, my son was living here. He had gone to Vanderbilt University and been working here for 3 or 4 years. He was injured almost 5 years ago and had a spinal cord injury. He dove off a pier into shallow water, and after rehab, he was determined to come back to work in Nashville. And my wife and I decided that we would sell our home in Alabama, move to Nashville, and help take care of him. So that's the short version of our story and how we got here. We do have our challenges, but overall we are doing great and we're happy. So on to some of my thoughts and impressions. First off, I did move from a small town in Alabama. Moving from a small town, you always felt like you were a little bit limited in your opportunities because of the population. You can only sell so many houses or so many insurance policies or whatever you're trying to do. Even if the economy was good, there were only so many jobs available. After I moved to Nashville, I realized there are unlimited opportunities in a town like Nashville. My son, after he went back to work here, decided after a few months to change jobs. He had an opportunity with another company for like a 70% increase in salary. Even though he loved his job and working with a nonprofit, he just didn't feel like he could turn that down. So he took that job. He stayed in that job for a year and ended up going back to the nonprofit job. But that just shows you the demand for jobs here in Nashville. My wife thought she was going to have to change jobs a few months after moving here, and within a month she had found a job nearby. She was going to be able to work from home, but the company was in the Nashville area if it required going to the office. However, luckily she was able to stay with the company that she had worked for many years, so things worked out. And because I started to see the opportunity, I decided I would go into real estate. I planned to do that before coming to Tennessee. I'd left my job in Alabama and was planning on selling real estate in Alabama, and I'm a real estate investor also. And I've been doing that for several years. When I moved to Nashville, after we settled in, I decided to pursue selling real estate. As a realtor, the opportunities are just endless. You're not limited by population. You can do whatever you want. And as I said, this is kind of random and not scripted, so something popped in my head, I guess because of all the driving I've been doing, showing houses the last couple of weeks. One of the things I don't like about Nashville and the area is right now there are a lot of potholes. Potholes around here are bad right now. It seems like some of the tourism dollars lost during COVID starting to come back, and I do see a lot of work being done, but it seems like they need to spend more money on the roads and get the potholes fixed. I'm sure if a city like Nashville will do that. They repaired one on my street recently, so hopefully that's a good sign. All the roads around here will be fixed pretty soon. Okay, back to some of the things I do like, and this is something I didn't expect, but everything is so convenient here in Nashville. I thought when I moved from a small town to a big city, it would take me like 30 minutes to get anywhere I wanted to go. I had lived in Atlanta for a while, like 30 years ago, and that's the way it was even back then. It took me a long time to get anywhere. Even in Birmingham, Alabama, the traffic there can be terrible at times. It can take you forever to go 10 miles on some of the highways. I've been in Nashville for a while now, and I've not encountered that. I live in East Nashville. I can be on the west side in 10 to 15 minutes. I can be in downtown anywhere in less than 10 minutes. And of course, if you're commuting in and out of town during rush hour, you might have some problems. You know, it could be 30 to 45 minutes. If there's a wreck, it could be an hour. But as far as getting in and around Nashville, the convenience is just awesome. The next thing that I was really surprised about when I moved here is the walkability of the area I live in. I live in East Nashville and there are sidewalks everywhere. I can pretty much walk anywhere I want to. I walk to the drugstore, I walk to the barber shop, I walk to a restaurant, I can go to the grocery store, I walk to yoga. I can do that pretty much whenever I want to. And this is a positive and it's great. There's one negative about it in this area. I guess because of the growth and expansion, maybe they widen the roads, but the telephone poles are in the middle of the sidewalks in some places. And there's not enough room for someone in a wheelchair like my son to get around. And of course, that just makes it kind of aggravating, but hopefully that's something the city can improve upon and make it more accessible for the handicapped all the way around. Speaking of negative things, one of the things I don't like is the lack of a public transportation system. There's a public transportation system called WeGo, and there are buses that run throughout the city, but the routes don't cover all parts of Metro Nashville. It's okay for me and my family. We have cars and can pretty much drive anywhere we want to go, but it'd be nice every now and then if we wanted to go downtown, maybe to a concert, and we're worried about the parking, we could just take a train, get off downtown, come back home without the hassle of parking. That would be nice. Maybe as Nashville grows, that's something that can improve in the future. On the positive side, I really enjoy the live entertainment. My wife and I have been to more concerts and Broadway plays in the past 3 years than the previous 30 combined. I've never lived in a city where I had the opportunity to do those things before, and it's really great. My son's been to several concerts with his friends, and the concert venues have handicap accessible seating and parking, so that makes it easy. He goes with his friends. They have the seats, and he loves that. It's very important for him to be able to do those types of things. He loves spending time with his friends, and he enjoys the entertainers and loves music. That's just really important for him. And it's not just concerts. There are venues downtown, of course, on Broadway that have live entertainment 365 days a year. There aren't many places you can access that, but it's here, and it's great. Speaking of downtown, I love that downtown Nashville is walkable. Whenever I go downtown, I see tourists walking around all the time, and it's great for a tourist town with their sidewalks and bike lanes. It's just easy to get around. I see scooters going around, and while some people don't like the tourists in town, I love it. It's part of what makes Nashville what it is, and of course, it's part of our economy. So I think tourists are great. On to some more things I do like. I love my golf, and I was really worried about that. I wasn't sure I was going to have anybody to play with once I came to Nashville. I've been playing with the same group of people on the same course in Alabama for years, and I still love to go back and play. But I moved here and found out there are several municipal golf courses that are great. I love to play at Two Rivers Golf Course, Ted Rhodes Golf Course, and McCabe Golf Course. They're all municipal public courses in really great shape. And I have different groups of players that I play with. I've met so many nice people. I go to play, run into somebody, and the next thing I know, they invite me to play. They're just really great people, and they always make you feel accepted. It's not just city courses. There are some great public courses that are not municipal courses. Gaylord Springs is near Opryland, and it's a beautiful golf course on the river. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a little pricey, but if you love to play golf, it's well worth it. Hermitage Golf Course is also within about 20 minutes of Nashville, and it is a great public course, and it isn't terribly expensive. I also love to work out in the downtown YMCA. When I moved to Nashville, I found several YMCAs throughout the city. I started going to one here in East Nashville, the Margaret Mitchell Family YMCA, which is great, but I found out I could get to the one downtown in about the same amount of time, about 10 minutes, and it's absolutely awesome. It's a first-class facility. It has everything. It has 2 or 3 weight rooms, every type of machine you can think of, and plenty of them, so you never have to wait for the machines. They have a walking track, basketball court, swimming pool, sauna, steam room, you name it, they have it. And it's just an absolutely awesome facility. In my videos before, I've talked about coffee shops, and there are some great ones in Nashville, but it's not the coffee shops I've come to realize that are most important to me. It's the people I can have coffee with. You run into somebody, we chat for a minute, and we say, hey, let's have coffee next week. It's just a chance to make new friends. We talk about business a little bit, but mainly we're just forming relationships. I reach out to the people who have the same interest as me on social media like LinkedIn and Facebook, and they say, let's have coffee. I've never been turned down. We always go grab a cup of coffee, and it turns into a long-term relationship. We might do business together, or we might just be friends, or maybe we just play golf. Coffee shops are great. I love the social aspect of it, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about food here in Nashville. I always love the food. The thing I like about it is it's so convenient. It's not like it's a big deal to get to a restaurant or to order from a restaurant. It's almost too convenient. Instead of cooking, it's always just so easy to say, let's go pick something up. There's so many places, and we can just do it, and we have dinner in 20 minutes. In some ways it's bad because we spend a little bit too much money, and we maybe don't eat as healthy as we should. I do love my barbecue, and riding through town on a street I hadn't been on, I saw Jack's Thorns Barbecue, and it was kind of a hole in the wall, but those are the kinds that usually have the best barbecue, and sure enough, they have great barbecue. Another thing I like about Nashville is all the different burger shops that have all different kinds of hamburgers. Come from a small town, a burger was a burger. You went to a restaurant and they pretty much had one type of hamburger. Here in Nashville, Nashville. There are so many different burger shops. I love Joyland. They have an awesome hamburger with different types. The Pharmacy Burger right near my house has like 15 different types of burgers, any kind you want. My son's favorite is Burger Up, and they have just awesome hamburgers in about 10 different types. So as you can tell, I probably do need to be eating healthier, but I do love my barbecue and my hamburgers. So I'll work on getting healthier later. Let's see, we talked about a lot of things, and one of the things I don't like is the construction. Speaking of downtown, road construction on buildings can really be aggravating, but I guess that's the price of progress. I think something like 100 people move to Nashville a day. It's just crazy. With that many people moving here, things have to grow and there has to be construction. One day, but I guess we just have to get used to it. Some of the reasons so many people move here is the low property taxes, and there's no state income tax. So I don't think the growth is slowing down anytime soon. And also the climate in Nashville is also a big draw. We have 4 seasons, and spring and fall are wonderful. Living in central Alabama, the weather was good. We didn't really have that long of a spring. It seemed like we had a few weeks of spring and then boom, it was summertime. But here in Nashville, I think it's just far enough south that the winters aren't brutally cold, and they're not that long. And then we have a really long spring and a really long fall, and the temperatures are perfect. I'm really looking forward to the fall. It's been really hot this summer, and that's just absolutely wonderful. Well, that about covers all my thoughts and impressions, good and bad, about Nashville today. I'm sure there are more, but that's all I can think of right now. If you like hearing about the good and the bad in Nashville and anything else, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe to get more great content. I put these videos out around every 2 weeks. If you're considering moving to Nashville, looking for a home in Nashville, please reach out to me. You can call or text 615-436-5995 or email me at wade@livingtn.com. We can talk about real estate investing, which I've been doing for several years, or we can just chat. So come on down to Nashville and let's have a cup of coffee.